Hi, I'm Natasha Lockhart. It's been a while since we've heard from our friends at Deseret Book. Mindy and Lane will join us.
I'm Stacy Beck. If you haven't taken the time to relax at Summit Spa and Float, you're missing out. We'll learn more about that.
And I'm Angie Murphy. Growing up, chances are you had to face a bully. Well, times have gotten even tougher for our kids. We'll talk about that.
Also, what's all the talk about CBD? We'll find out. All this and more on Studio Chatter. Welcome to Studio Chatter. How are we doing?
So
Hello.
good. How are you, ladies?
Yeah,
It's been
a busy couple of weeks.
I know, coming here tonight, you guys are both like, I'm exhausted.
And you're just relaxed because you've been to Italy.
Yes.
I've been to Italy.
Oh, tell us all about
Yes.
it. Well, a short synopsis.
I know, because we could do an entire show.
Okay, so tell us how you first decided to go there, and then tell us about
Okay,
the
it's
trip.
our 30th wedding anniversary this year, and 7 so years ago, we said we would go to Europe for our 30th. And as we started planning about a year ago, we just thought, why spend so much time getting to every country? Why don't we choose one country
Oh, I love
and
that.
just dive into it? So we visited 6 different cities in Italy. And we did go through a company that arranged the hotels and the transfers, which took away every headache. You guys,
Really?
there was not one headache in this whole process.
Not one hiccup.
Probably us booking our own flight to get there was the biggest problem. And that took us 2 months to decide on that. And by the way, did you know there's a straight flight from Paris to Salt Lake City?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
No.
10
Didn't
hours.
know that.
Straight on. So the thing I liked about it is you would be in like the busy, fast place like Rome, and then your next city would be Sorrento on the ocean. Then your following city was Florence, again, museums, cathedrals, busy walking. Then your next city was Cinque Terre, which is 5 cities along.
I've never heard of Cinque Terre.
So it's more of a region. It's 5 cities on the hillside, the steep rocky hillside in Italy, where all those bright houses are and the boats. Oh, and our place that we stayed there, we were just looking right down into the ocean, hitting the waves and all the houses.
And so they just chose these great locations because they know it.
Yes.
Okay.
Are they Airbnbs? Are they hotels?
They were all
are they a combination?
They were all hotels except Cinque Terre. They don't have any hotels, and so it was. They called it an apartment.
Was it the cute little the keys?
That was in Venice, which is next.
Okay.
And I love water, and so we took the train from Cinque Terre to Venice. You get off the train, and it's just water. Your water taxi picks you up. You put all your luggage in the taxi. We were with our good friends. We just loaded the water taxi, and they just start driving us. They drop us off at the hotel, which is a dock, and they unload your luggage, and you go in, and it's the keys with the dangly fringe.
know.
Oh yes,
I was living vicariously through you on
so
your
quaint.
Instagram stories.
yeah. And so
That's
and
amazing.
then they say, "Okay, you're on." I think we were on the 2nd floor, but they said go up to the 3rd. So the elevator, I kid you not, is no bigger than this table, if not smaller. And you go up, but then you get off, and then you go down a couple stairs, and the floor slants, and then you kind of go up and around the corner. It's not
I
like our
imagine on
hotels.
water that it's just like, I mean, I know it's not on water, but the ebb and flow of like what the earth does because it's on water.
There's like, people are like, oh, I love green and water. I'm like, there's no greenery. This is all built out. We get into our room. I walk over to the window, look out, and it's the little canal with the gondolas.
Gondolas?
Yeah,
Gondolas.
Gondolas just coming through.
Only seen them in Vegas. We haven't seen the real things.
I just I could sit here and then in the evening the men were hired to sing on the gondolas, and
Did you do it in the evening too?
we just did a day
one.
We did a walking tour, and then we did a water taxi tour, and then we did a gondola ride.
Well, and some of the history and the cathedrals and just some of the things that you were posting.
What was
it
some
had
of
to
your
be
faves? Like
dreamy.
maybe top 5.
So in Sorrento, it would be, we took a boat tour out to the island of Capri, where they filmed some of the scenes from Pirates of the Caribbean. We booked this tour. We're thinking we'll probably just ride a ferry out to the island, right? We get there and we're on our own little private boat.
What?
Like we were dying. We didn't know. And so he starts driving us out there. It's a beautiful day. We're going under these arches in the Mediterranean Sea, and he's like, Johnny Depp was out here yesterday. I'm like, what?
Oh,
He's
wow.
like, yeah, he's filming for something, but right here is where they filmed Pirates.
Oh my goodness.
And then he said he kind of drives us over and he just says, hop in the water right here and swim over to that cave and go in there. I said, there's no cave. You're just trying to make us get in. He's like, no, swim over there. We swim over, and about 5 feet from the wall, a cave opening. We go in, and there's a hole in the opening where the top where the sun's coming in and the water's turquoise, and it's only the 4 of us in there. Then we get to the main island, and we took a chairlift to the very top, and you could see the whole bay and the sea, and that adventure was so awesome. We saw Pompeii. When I came, see, I could go on forever.
I'm glad.
When I came into Rome for the first time, we had just flown in. We're in our car ride going to the hotel, and we come over the hill, and I see the Roman Colosseum, and it just like hit me hard, like my heart.
Like you're seeing what
it
you
hit
see
me
in
hard,
books
and I was like,
and movies.
oh my gosh! And then my eyes just filled with tears, and Chris is like, "You're not crying." I'm like, "Hun, this is massive beyond anything you could ever dream of, and everything there was just bigger than life. Like that place I miss." It was.
I love history, so I just imagine something like that. We were able to go to Europe, but we never went to Italy. But I've always wanted to, and I'm like, why didn't we just stay longer and just do it? It's hard to get that there. Yeah, you do.
Yeah, it's hard to get there.
Yes,
and if you're spending
it is.
that amount on airfare, you might as well stay an extra little day.
Stacey,
or 7.
that just sounds dreamy.
Well, I'm glad that you
20.
had it that long in the works and that you'd actually planned up to it and planned surrounding that. So
And how did you find the place? Like, what led you to those people?
We
who
just
booked
started
you?
looking at tour companies, and we looked at a couple, and we're like, whoa, that's a lot. And this one, and you can choose 7, 10, 14 days. We chose 14 days. And then they said, this price is a 3-star hotel, but you can upgrade and it would be this much more. These are the tours that we'll set up for you. If you want to do additional tours, these are what we suggest. So, and everything was semi-private.
Because where you've never been, you want to make sure that you're experiencing it the right way and not missing out on neat things.
Yeah.
That only they know about.
But you were busy. You went on a hunt. Angie!
I have been busy, and I can say this too. My 2 girls found out that they're having girls, so that was exciting too.
And they're a week apart.
And they were a week apart. Now with the new sonograms, they are 2 days apart, guys.
You're kidding.
I don't know. I'm like, do we just plan it and induce them at the same time, or do we like plan it and induce them a week apart?
A week
they
apart.
do, yeah. So I can
So you can enjoy
be there
it,
and
be
then
there,
jump
then
to the
enjoy
next
it.
one.
Yes,
I don't know.
each
How fun
separately.
to have the same
Yeah, it would
birthday.
be. But then the cousins would fight growing up and be like, it's my birthday.
Yeah, totally.
That's true.
Hey, can you tell I'm speaking from experience right now? That's what I've been doing when you've been off on your magical tour. But
I did an antelope hunt. I drew out, and last time I drew out was like 20 years ago. We went hunting for my whole time that I had the week, and we did not see one antelope. And so this time I was like, Rhett, and he's like, we're going to make this happen. So we got down there, and the first day when we went out, just barely at light, the only antelope that we were seeing was not on my unit, on the other side of the road. I'm like, this is my luck. So then we drove all day long until like 3 and did not see. Well, we saw one at the very first, and it was skittish and ran off. And so I was just like, this is great. Me and Red are just out together, driving in the truck. We are fine. And then towards the end of the day, we happened to go down this dirt road that led us onto private property. We had to drive, which it was just like rolling fields, but it ended up being private property. So we had to drive through it. And then this older couple came out of their home. We're like, we are so sorry. Our GPS said that this was like a road. And they were kind. They were a little bit funny, but they were kind. And they told us to try this road across the street, this 2-cat road. And so we ended up taking that road, and then Rhett spotted one like 600 yards away, or it was more than that. And so we did a full-on like hunting video. We got out. I'm like, let's just do this. Like, what have we got to lose? So we got out and we just like snuck in. We range find it. It wasn't like close enough. So we got back out. We drove around, and then we got down, crawled up again. And then I got out my tripod, and I said, Rhett, if you can tell me how high to aim above it, I think I can get it. Like, I was pretty steady. And so he's like, you've got to aim at least 2 feet on top of his back. And I was like, really? And he's like, at least 2 feet. So he's like, when he turns broadside, go for it if you feel confident. And so sat there, and he turned broadside, and I shot, and it like lunged, and he's like, you've shot it. And then it took off. So then I did one more shot, and it like it was really low. And he's like, you got to aim higher than that. So when it stopped again, I shot again, almost 3 feet over its back, and it lunged again. And then we were like, okay, stop, just let it relax. And then we went over there to get it. We like picked up our stuff, and then all of a sudden we looked and it was gone. I was like, did it get away? Like, what's going on? Did I not hit it? Did I not hit it? And he's like, no, you hit it. Anyway, we got over there and found it, and it was just fun to be together.
We might have more men watching this show.
Yes,
it was super fun.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
way to
20
go.
years plus. Took me to get
my
one.
gosh. Sorry, Natasha.
Yeah.
Oh no,
all
you're
time's
good.
out.
Way more eventful.
Oh my.
Next time.
Yes, yeah. Next on Studio Chatter, a massage and some pampering sounds good right about now. That's coming right up. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Taking an hour or two at a spa does wonders for the body and mind, especially if you go to Summit Spa and Float. Welcome Katrina Long and Samantha Butler to our table.
Hi, ladies.
Welcome back.
I totally agree with that opening statement. An hour or two at the spa,
Oh, completely.
Every day.
which, by the way, in 2 days, I will be.
Totally looking forward
I'll
to
be
it.
there. She is an awesome.
I've never been,
Is it
but I need.
masseuse? Is that what you? Is that what they're supposed to call it?
Massage therapist.
Why not a masseuse?
Just sounds like AIDS.
Okay, moving on.
Okay. So everyone there is a massage therapist, yes or no?
We have
Yes, okay.
estheticians as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
So how many folks do you have on staff?
So we have 22
Oh my
employees
goodness.
here
Okay.
at the Spanish Fork location. And then we've just opened up another location in Park City, and up there we have 9 people on staff.
And where is that
Holy
location?
cow.
So that's just, so if you go up Provo Canyon to Park City, it's that first exit as you're coming up Provo Canyon and going into Park City, right where the hospital is.
Yes.
By
right
Deer
off,
Creek.
Yeah, we're just right off
Well,
that
not Deer Creek.
main road.
Sure, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the high school, just up from the high school.
Okay.
And
Awesome.
how's it going up there?
It's wonderful. It's a little different crowd. But
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of athletes and then a lot of people that are just in visiting
Oh,
and
that's
here visiting Utah. So
So do they come in more like the float thing, or is it more massage therapy, or a
We have
little
a
of both?
lot of
What's
people
in
who float up there.
really more than down here?
Yeah, it's I think it's more common up there. Like
Yeah.
people seek it out and have more knowledge about it, and so they come in and they're just like, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Really?
They don't have any question about it. They're just ready.
They're just ready to hop in.
So how do the two compare in size? How many float pods do you have there and how many do you have here?
So here we have 2 float pods. We're in about 3,000 square feet. So we have 7 rooms, and then a big mani-pedi room here in Spanish Fork, and then in Park City, it's more of a smaller location, really just kind of tailoring to athletes here. It's kind of a getaway experience. Up there, it's a lot more rehabilitation. So we have the float pod, and then a couples room, and then an aesthetics room. So it's about 1,000 square feet.
Wow.
Okay.
So exciting though. The growth is always fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
So do you guys work at both locations, or how
Yes.
does you do? Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
We want to make sure that we know what's going on in both
That's perfect.
locations.
Awesome.
Congratulations on your
Yes.
growth. How long have you guys been open here in Spanish Fork? Has it been a year?
Year and 9 months. So
That's really amazing because you're growing here, right? You have more people coming in, better recognition. You've opened a second store. So, and you've been with us before.
yeah.
Yes.
You came in like what, a month or 2 after you opened?
Yeah.
So, what now can you tell us that's different from when you were here before?
And educate them a little bit on the floating, because I wasn't with you gals back then. So yeah, I'd
All
like
of
to
the
know a little bit
services,
more.
please.
Yes.
You want me to do that? Sure. Okay, so floating is, it's a pod that's filled with 1,000 pounds of Epsom salt and about 10 inches of water. There's more salinity in there than the Dead Sea. So as soon as you get into the float pod, you automatically float. Great for the mind and great for the body. Love the scientific research that's coming out and the good things that it's doing for people who have anxiety issues and PTSD and just for
And how does
general
it help
relaxation.
that? Is it just the
So
relaxation of it?
five minutes after being in the pod, the diastolic blood pressure actually drops 10 to 15 points just within 5 minutes of being in the pod. And then that post float, effects are lasting 20 to 26 hours. So people who normally would take like an Ativan, they usually get 4 to 6 hours off of that pill that they're taking for the antidepressant, where when you're going into float, you're getting 20 to 26 hours of relief.
Amazing.
Yeah, so definitely love the scientific research that's coming out of it, so that way we can prove what floating is doing for the body, and it's amazing what it can do for the body. So really, we just love having that free float day for first responders.
I have floated in the Dead Sea actually, and that salt is so strong it hurts if it gets in.
Yeah, you don't want to touch your eyes.
Is it the same way in the float pot? Okay, all right.
If you touch right here, you're gonna feel it like just trickle up to your eyes. And so we have a washcloth inside of the pod.
Okay.
If you have any sort of itch or something that you're just like, I've got to get this off, just use that towel.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I have a question to that, because it can be therapeutic. Do you have anybody that uses maybe flex programs, or can you call it therapy and pay for it like medically?
Yeah, so we can take HSAs and FSAs if they've got a written note from a doctor. We do auto accidents as well, and work with those type of people who come in and need therapeutic massage, and so we do that billing as well.
Well, what about our faces?
All the fun stuff?
Yes, beautifying us.
So
Yes.
fall is here. Our signature facial is going to change with the seasons now. So that way it's tailored for what's going on with the environment. And so right now it's fall, and so we've got a pumpkin facial. It's an 8-course facial, and it smells.
An 8-course, that sounds like food.
I know.
It smells,
smells like good.
Yeah, exactly. But really, our main treat that we love the most right now is the bourbon malt muscle melt, and I'm going to let Sam.
Okay. So yummy. I know. I don't really drink alcohol. Okay. And if
we did, we would want to drink this.
If this vanilla bourbon is what alcohol tastes like and smells like, I'm going to be an alcoholic.
Yes.
That's just it. I'm done for. So I want to give you guys a little taste of what this is.
What is
Just rub it on your hand.
Don't taste
and take
it.
a smell.
Just smell it.
Don't really taste it.
You want me to drink it?
Nasty.
We'll put some in your drink
So just
here.
pass that around so you can smell that as well.
So
Oh, that is such a good fall smell.
Oh my gosh, is this pumpkin
It's
scrub?
not too sweet.
That's the whipped honey scrub that we use first when you come in for that treatment.
Yum.
So we have a bourbon muscle melt, a vanilla bourbon muscle melt massage. It is 75 minutes long, and we start out with
just smell.
this treatment doing a scrub on your back. And so we're getting all of those senses invigorated, and when you get a scrub, it's like it takes off all of that dead skin, and on your back, it feels like the best scratch of your entire life. Like, you know, those spots that you just can't get by yourself, and then you're trying to tell somebody else, lower, higher, gets it all. It feels amazing. And then we'll do the massage with this oil.
Oh, so this is like not a facial.
No, this is the
body
body.
Body massage.
Yes.
Oh,
So, 75 minutes. We'll spend time doing the scrub, and then we'll go right into the massage. We'll turn you over, and we're gonna do a hot oil scalp massage. So we're gonna run this. We're gonna run this oil through your hair and just do the best scalp massage of your entire life, and then a little tiny mini facial. And then we're going to continue with the massage on the front, and then we're going to end with a scrub on your feet, and then we're going to put this beautiful smelling velvet sundae on your feet. So one more tantalizing scent.
Jeez, I already feel relaxed just talking about that. I'm picturing
Oh my
myself
word.
in that place.
It's
Are
heaven.
you kidding me?
This is making me pretty excited for fall.
Yeah.
So
Oh, ladies, that sounds like heaven. So, about pricing wise, what do you guys offer?
pricing wise for this treatment
Yes, for
itself.
this one.
So this is $100 for the 75-minute treatment.
Okay.
If you want to come in for that 8-course pumpkin facial that we have, that's $59.95.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, just some fun things to get you started for fall and
Yes.
help your body relax.
What a fun
Just a
gift.
fun treat. Treat yourself.
Totally. Yep. And really quickly, what about the floats? Packages, singles? How to?
So we have a membership. So the first time that you come in, floating is $59.95 for 60 minutes. If you continue on and you're a member with us, then that pricing stays the same. And then if you're not, then it just goes up to $79.95.
Yes, and it's always good to do 3 floats just so that your body understands exactly what it feels like. You can't really get the gist of it after 1 float. 2 floats, you might understand it a little bit more, but 3 floats is really where your body starts to get into the relaxation mode and knows, I'm going to calm down as soon as I get in. I know what to do, and we're here to accomplish something.
Kind of like going to the gym. You can't expect to go to the gym and have a six-pack the first time.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I've tried and it doesn't work. I know, I wish. Well, ladies, I've had work done by both of you, and I appreciate you being here. You're both so fantastic and so
you.
kind and
beautiful.
instruct. Like,
Yes,
just like,
it
hey,
is. So
yeah,
fresh.
I love talking about this stuff and helping like our muscles and healing and taking care of ourselves. It's important.
It really is important.
So you guys are
Well,
great.
we hope to see you
so
all
much.
soon, and thanks for coming back here. We'll share your information to our friends. Coming up next, we'll have a visit from our friends from Deseret Book. Stay with us. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. With the days getting shorter, it's a good time to snuggle up to a good book or two. And our next guest can certainly recommend a few. Welcome Mindy Tuckett and Lane Rogers from Deseret Book.
Hey, we have books.
You do have books.
And you have pictures and home decor
All
and
sorts
food.
and food. That's the important part is we have food.
Well, our food consists of sugary treats, but
No,
we
but
have-
there's like muffins.
Yes,
That's
yes.
healthy, right?
Oh, and BYU ranch. You can't go without the ranch. So.
Okay,
Muffins.
that just makes me mad that there's ranch and no chicken salad.
And they have ice cream too.
Yes,
You?
the
Yeah.
BYU ice cream.
At your store?
Yes, like
The
little teeny
single
containers.
servings. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have lots of people come in for like date nights, and that's what they get. Is the
Really?
single serving
Yep.
ice cream.
What a great
I've
idea.
never had
What,
it.
it's like $1.99
Yeah,
for it.
$1.99.
So good.
They hang out in the store for date
No,
night?
they leave.
Okay.
Well, it's like they've gone to dinner and they're waiting for their movie or their, you know.
You need
they
to get
just-
the cookies and cream milk that they
Oh,
have.
yeah.
Okay, would you do
We used to have the
that?
chocolate milk, and I'm very sad that it's gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we did get rid of the milk.
Okay, well that's just
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, a lot of people probably didn't even know that you had food. All right, well, conference
Yes.
is coming up
True.
very soon, so help us get prepared.
Okay, so one of the major things that we have is we have these conference packets.
Wow.
These are free. Your first one is free. If you want more than one, they're $1 a piece while supplies last, but they are on
Wow.
desertbook.com as well for you to print off yourself.
And is one enough for your whole family?
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
designed to kind of prepare your family. So it has a family home evening, get you ready for conference, including a treat that comes out of the new Six Sisters, which we'll talk about in a minute. It has things that come from the Family Council Journal. You want to show them that?
Yep.
From Elder Ballard that kind of helps
never
you
seen
guide
this.
through. This is really good to like help your family.
Yeah, kind of
I've
set
learned to-
goals together, you know, talk through maybe different
Lord, I love
issues. And,
this.
This would be a great Christmas gift.
yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
So,
Little families.
The new little family.
There you go.
yeah, so that one's kind of fun.
Yep. So then there's also some activities you can do during conference. So
Start
there's
your own Christmas jar.
Love
Yep.
that.
So there's all sorts of cool things, all things that go along with products that we have. There's also recipes for conference morning, which we love conference food. So all sorts of things. And then there's a family home evening lesson at the end to kind of recap what you learned at
So you want to
conference.
kind of start this out pretty soon.
You
Yeah.
want to be coming in as soon as possible because A, we might run out soon, but B, you want to get started on getting ready for conference with this.
I love that. That's great.
Wow, that's really, really great. Great way to prepare.
Okay,
And
then
like
what
you
else?
said, if they run out, you can print off the pages from
Okay, that's good to know.
desertbook.com.
You had something smaller in your little
Yes.
pile here. What?
Yeah, so we just brought some fun stuff to kind of, for the older kids, adults, we have these conference notebooks. And so you can just
like
kind
that.
of
Those are
take
cute.
notes. Here, I can't hold all four at the same time, but
come on.
yeah, they just, the speaker, the topic, you can just take some.
I like that
little
it's
notes.
labeled conference notes because I do so much better if I take notes while watching conference. But they're in this notebook, that notebook, this little thing.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah.
I should have just
They're like,
like
little,
that.
they're like little
Something.
passports.
How
They're
much
so cute.
are these? Like to just go
I think
pick
the
one
big
up?
one's $4.99. This one's $3.99. I think.
And I think the big one's $4.99. Yep.
Yeah, I
Perfect.
think so.
And then just
And that
date
could last
it.
probably
Isn't
a
that
couple of
great?
years.
Yeah.
It looks like, depending on how much you write.
Yeah, you can also keep it organized, just one conference at a time.
Yeah. Oh,
Because you
yeah.
can date the
Wow.
front, say this is October 2019, and then you get another
Yes.
one in the spring. And you're good to
Love
go.
that.
Yep.
And then, oh yes.
Yeah, and then we got these fun little for the kids, the young primary age.
my
So
head.
the
Come out with
activity
so many
books,
great
junior.
things.
So yeah, these are fun on the table. Everything's while supplies last, though. So
We're trying really hard to keep it all in, but they're really cute, so come get them.
yeah, they are really cute. We
And how
sold a
much
lot.
do those run?
These are $2.99. So you can easily get 4, 5, 19 for how many kids you have.
Yeah.
But really, it's a great way to get hyped and do some planning surrounding everything. And there's activities, and there's food, and there's a big, planning book. It's fantastic.
Encourage the kids to really want
Sure, and
to be part of it.
participate. Mhm.
So we've talked everything conference, which is part of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. All of our viewers might not belong to the church.
Right.
Is there something in your store, Deseret Book, that members of that church would want to come and
Yeah.
check out? What do you have?
So we've talked about food before. We also have cookbooks, which we have a huge supply of cookbooks.
Yes.
And
This makes me excited.
We've talked before we started. We talked about Six Sisters, and you all love Six Sisters.
Yes, we do.
They have such great recipes, and they're all family friendly. This is their newest one called 6 Ingredients with Six Sisters.
I could cook this.
Yeah,
This could be
it's
so
easy.
simple.
And they're almost all things you already have at home. So you can make just super easy things. There's a. I should've
I'll
looked
buy
it
you
up.
one if you buy me one.
Christmas.
There's one I was looking at, but there's turkey burgers if you want to be healthy. We don't recommend that. But there's all sorts of yummy
Mediterranean
things.
pork- Oh, that looks yummy.
Doesn't that look good?
Yeah.
And there's desserts. There's all sorts of things. I mean, here's a.
Oh, that.
Pasta
Oh,
bake.
Easy bake. Wow.
Easy.
6
So
ingredients.
say everything I've made out of this book and all their books, it's
I
always
do.
good.
I love
Yeah,
all
it
those
is,
cooker
and it's
recipes
simple.
because they're just
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
easy.
Yep. And the
super
family
easy.
always loves them.
Yeah,
Okay, that's a
exactly.
great one.
So we also have lots of fiction. I mean, most people go to a bookstore for fiction. That's what they're looking for.
really?
Oh yeah.
Not
We
I
sell
would-
a
we
lot
sell
of
a
fiction.
lot of
That
fiction.
would surprise me about Deseret Book. I would think people would come for biographies or doctrine.
Yes.
That's not
Oh,
true at
no.
your store?
We do a lot of that.
Right.
But I think people just passing through, they want just some fun and easy to read.
Oh my gosh.
Especially
Yeah,
non-members.
we actually had a dad in with some of his kids today, and he's like, "Do you have kids chapter books?" And he's like, "I know this is an LDS store, but I'm like, no, our kids books." So we have a lot of kids books that you just find at the local library.
Okay,
You
just
know,
in
so
your
it's
back
just
corner,
the middle,
right? Yeah.
middle readers,
Okay.
beginning readers. So they're not LDS based books. They're
Okay,
just
just
ones you
books
find at your library.
To build your
so-
own library.
But
What?
we make sure the
So-
content's good in all of them too.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't have to worry about what you're gonna have your kids
Yeah.
reading.
Okay.
What are some of the new hot books, adult and young, that are going right now at the store?
Ooh, well, we got a new Brandon Mole one. It's kind
Oh,
of a kid
really?
book about monsters, and we are Dragon Watch. If you were into that series, the third one's coming out October 1st. A lot of things coming out October 1st, so
Really?
that's the best
That's
day
the
to
time.
come
What
in.
else
We'll
is
have a
coming
lot.
out?
Other Side of Heaven too. If you saw it
Ooh.
in the theaters, we are doing pre-orders for it right now. You save 15% if you pre-order it. So
Okay.
we've sold a lot of those so far. So I haven't got to see it yet, so I'm excited
I
for it
haven't
to
seen
come out.
it either. I'm excited.
I
I
never saw
love
the
the
first-
first one.
Oh, never saw it.
Oh, look,
didn't?
here's the
No.
first one.
It's
Yeah,
probably
right.
not too
There it
early
is.
to start some
And
Christmas
Hathaway
shopping
back in the
either.
day.
Oh, yes.
I always love the Christmas decor inside
Yes,
Deseret
I do
Book,
too.
and then these puzzles kind of caught my eye. Also, that would be
Mm-hmm.
another activity maybe for the
Yeah.
whole family to do together.
Yeah, I brought those because every conference my husband sets up a table and does a puzzle.
That's
so
what I do,
buy
yep.
a new puzzle and I brought this because we've had these, and I have just noticed today that it's a 100-piece puzzle. I'm like, oh, my kids could do their own because he never lets them do it with him. He's always like, leave it, this is my thing, And so I'm like, oh, good, there's one that my kids could sit down and do as well. So
My grandma used to do that. The big table for the big puzzle.
We do
and
it
then
on
the,
Thanksgiving,
yeah,
but
the
I've
small
never
table.
thought about doing it at conference.
Yeah,
That's a great
yeah,
way
he
to just
just-
listen,
yep.
but some people need to be
keep busy.
active. Yep,
Mhm.
I like
Stay
it.
awake, keeps you awake by
Yes.
having to do
This
the
is
puzzle.
exciting.
And I'd love to stop at Deseret Book for little gifts and stuff. Like I come down for missionary gifts, for baptism gifts, but you have lots of artwork back there.
Yeah, a lot of
There's-
plaques and lots of fun stuff.
Yep.
I
And
honest-
Christmas is out, so
Is
we,
it?
yeah,
Is it?
yeah,
On our
it's
way.
out. Yes, it's here.
And you have your own event coming up as well.
Oh yeah.
Yep, so we have our Family Friday. So we used to do ladies' night when it was just the priesthood session of conference, but now that they do the women's session on Saturday, Friday night, the night before conference, we have our Family Friday. It's going to be 20% off of everything for everyone. We'll have giveaways.
That's when you come get your book.
20% off.
I hope I don't run into you.
Friends and family discounts.
Exactly. So prizes, giveaways, refreshments. It's going to be a lot
Okay,
of fun.
remind me the time again.
It's going to be at 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock on Friday, October 4th.
Yes.
Yes.
Before
Is that right?
conference.
I don't know what the
4th
date
or
is.
5th,
It's the day before conference.
Okay. You guys are great.
there.
We love having you here.
love coming.
And
Love
this is
spending
your
time
third
with you.
time. And you get a new color of
I
mug.
know. So we'll have 2 blue and white.
Oh.
So we have to come back again so we can have
Next time,
two
we'll have
too.
to get you the mug tree, right? And you put your little Studio Chatter mugs on there.
Yeah.
Thanks as usual. You two are too much fun.
Oh,
Love it.
we love coming. Thank you.
Coming up next on Studio Chatter, bullies. We've all faced them. Is there anything we can do about them? Stay with us for that conversation. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. We're sure you can name the bullies you have faced in your life. Now, our children and grandchildren are facing even more. What can we do to overcome the fear?
This is a tricky
Yeah,
subject.
not fun.
It is.
But something that really is worth talking about and confronting, because bullies are never going to go away. I think they're just changing with the times. So we hear many things now about anti-bullying campaigns and keyboard courage and cyberbullying and things that are going on in the background. I think on social media, it's not so much in person. I mean, I think it still goes on. I don't know if it's as much.
But it's so much easier.
It's so much easier.
With the
It's
social
different than what
aspect of it. It is.
It looks
And I
different
even
than-
remember back when my girls, so maybe this is 10 or 15 years ago, when they were in elementary and I was on the PTA board, and my sister had just started a bullying campaign at their elementary. And so I had her come speak to the board. And at that point, they said, we don't have a bullying problem. We don't need this at our school. Yes. And I remember our good friend, Tandy Twitty, her backyard backed up to the school. And I remember her coming and telling me, no, they do have a problem. They're just not seeing it. Like, I watch outside my window every
This
day.
is when your girls were in elementary.
So that's been 15 years ago, but I think since that point till now, I mean, no one could say that there's not a bullying problem,
No.
period. And our schools are now being proactive in
Yeah.
having campaigns and different ways to deal with it.
Well, and even the secret ballot boxes where you can go and drop something and give it to an administrator or a teacher or something so that they're more aware, I think, so that they know that it's going on and can confront it from a different angle, so it's not as much to the bully. But I thought it was interesting in that introduction, if you've ever had that experience, we've all had it, and you just never forget it.
It sticks with you, and your heart kind of goes back to that moment of how it felt.
And again, so many years later, the names are even still there, the memories there. I remember a couple of different occasions, like getting backed into a corner and being asked, well, why are you an only child? How come your mom and dad didn't have more kids? How come you take clogging? How come you do that? I mean, just, and I don't know if necessarily that's like bullying.
But you felt
But you
attacked.
do feel,
Right.
attacked. And then like, I don't, what do you say to that when you're, 8, 9, 10 years old, like in grade school?
I take this really serious because one of my children did get bullied pretty bad to where that child felt like his life wasn't important.
Unsafe.
And I think I commend like the principals and the teachers and the people around my kids for stepping in. And we had a principal that had a zero tolerance. It didn't matter if he thought that it was true or not true. He would call the group in or the child in or whatever was going on and say, if I hear about this again, if anything happens, it will be suspension, like zero tolerance for everything. But I think it does take a village. I think that we need to listen to our kids and be responsive as a parent. I think I thought maybe something was wrong, but you think life's just hard or school's hard. But really listening and watching out for them because it's serious. And sometimes they don't like to reach out to us and tell us that there's something going on.
And it starts very early. I believe it's starting earlier now even than maybe when we were growing up.
Yeah.
I think, girls can be cruel. The junior high years, you may remember some of that, but I mean, I think even in grade school now it starts a little bit younger, but there are ways. We've had folks in here talk about the Utah Safety app.
Yes.
So you can call into hotlines that way. There are hope squads if it gets to a level where it is unsafe or scary for that person to want to go on.
I think it's important to mirror the proper behavior at home.
Oh, absolutely.
You need to look sometimes at yourself, like how is our home? And I would, when my kids would come home and tell me about stories, I would also remind them, like, all kids aren't as lucky as you guys to have the home life that we do, that your mom and dad both love you and that we're here at night with you. That's not every home. When you're in elementary and junior high, you think every home is like yours. So if your parents are hurting you or, demeaning or whatever,
That's normal.
that's normal, and you're going to go treat others like that. So I think it's,
And most of those
let your
children,
kids
it's like an
know.
insecurity of some sort. That's usually why a bully bullies. I believe that they mimic how they're raised or different actions or whatever.
and not all the time.
And not
but-
all the time, but a lot of times there's something's
And
going
I think
on.
the other important thing as parents is to teach our kids not just mirroring behavior, but teaching them to be kind to others.
Yes, I agree.
Absolutely.
And not just always think, oh, my kid's being bullied. Like, I hope you're not the problem. I
Yes.
hope you're not the one
Oh,
doing
absolutely.
this.
Absolutely. I
Because
think you do have
that
to look
can get
inside.
missed.
Because I think that sometimes I don't give my kids the benefit. Like, I want them to be so kind that sometimes when they'll tell me a story, I'll be like, well, what did you do?
I do that too.
And I just,
What did you do to
I
cause
don't
it?
think
Yeah.
that you can ever be too kind. I do think that you need to learn to stand up for yourself. And so there's that fine line there between not just taking it and walking away, but sometimes you do have to then confront. But I do think that if we need to teach kindness.
Well, absolutely. I think that's the scary thing about the devices, because it's too easy for maybe more high school age type kids to take on an alias or to use something else and kind of, go after that person. And there's not really one way to get to that source. So there's just so many different angles. So you almost prefer it to be in person if it's going to be that way, but it's just scary now. It's just a different world that we live
And
in.
sometimes that person doesn't know they're being bullied because the picture is going around without them really knowing that it
So
is until
sad.
it's so big.
Yeah,
so
the
late.
proper behavior needs to be taught at home, and I think we need to allow our kids to express their concerns to us without us freaking out.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
I
with
remember an incident with me in 7th grade, and I told my mom, and it kind of continued happening, and she said, I can't hear anymore. Don't tell me anymore.
that. And so then where do you take that?
Yeah.
Right. Then you
But now,
hold
as
on
a
to it.
mom, when you're hearing these things from your child, it's so much to take in. Sometimes you
is.
can't do anything, and so I understand where that's coming from. But you
But
can't
not
do
doing
it.
is
No, it is hard, especially with the mama bear instincts. You just want to go
reach out and lash.
did what?
You do. Yeah, you
and
do.
sometimes they just have to work it out on the playground. So I think it's balanced, but very, very good topic.
Teaching them how to handle conflicts, I think, is crucial.
Yep.
So do your homework.
Absolutely.
There's lots of resources out there.
Be there for them.
Coming up next, have you heard of CBD? We'll learn more about it. Stay with us. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Everywhere you look, you see signs for CBD. Let's get some education about the topic. Welcome Mr. Mike Van Dyke from Access Accident Center here in Spanish Fork. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hello.
Thanks for having
First
me.
of all, where's Access?
We are in the brand new building that's right next to the SNS Texaco gas station, kind of on the corner
Yes.
of 8th North and 8th East.
Used to be a
Beautiful
Kroll.
building.
Yes. Okay. I do know where that
So we've been curious about this for a while, when you do see all of the signs popping up everywhere, and it seems to be on every corner. And even a lady in my neighborhood made the comment the other day. She said, "Oh, this used to be such a nice little neighborhood, and now
We sell
so-and-so is
CBD."
selling CBD." So
Right.
help us break the myth or establish the difference.
Okay.
Well, before that, though, like,
Okay.
Yes, tell us about you.
Who are you?
Okay.
So I'm,
Who are you to tell us what this is?
and then we got there.
I'm Dr. Mike with Access Accident Center. I'm a chiropractor. So we deal with all kinds of issues. Typically, people come to see us because they're in pain. So the CBD goes hand in hand with what we do because the number one reason to use CBD is for pain.
Okay.
So it just goes hand in hand with what we do.
And CBD is different than marijuana. Will you explain that?
Yes.
I think that's the most confusing
That is the
thing
biggest
about
myth
this.
out there.
So CBD comes from the hemp plant, which is different than the marijuana plant. So the hemp plant has about 20% CBD and less than 0.3% of the THC, which is what gets you high. That's what's in marijuana.
So the THC gets us high, which
Yes.
the CBD has less of.
So this
or none.
THC and CBD are two separate things.
Okay.
So in the cannabis species of plant, there's hemp and there's marijuana.
Okay.
So hemp has CBD, no THC. Marijuana has some CBD and a lot of THC. And THC is the stuff that
That
gets you
makes
high.
sense. Yes.
You got that?
I think so.
CBD, not high. THC, high.
Hi.
But both can help with pain elements.
Both can help with pain elements.
Okay.
CBD is actually stronger in pain relief than THC.
Oh,
So it's
interesting.
a better product without the
Side effects.
side effects.
So is there any side effects with the CBD?
The only side effects with CBD, some people have some digestive, maybe a little bit of diarrhea and fatigue. Those are the only two real side effects for
That's a
using
lot
CBD.
less than anything approved
And
by
it's-
FDA.
Yes,
Yes, and
exactly.
it's a very small percentage of people that have
But
any
no one's
side
going to get
effects.
high by taking
No
it.
one's gonna
no
get
one's
high.
needing to worry about a drug test or
No.
anything like that. Okay,
Yeah, it
that's
won't
another
show up
good
in
myth.
anything. Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect.
Who can benefit from this, Mike?
Really, there's more and more research that they're finding that CBD can help with so many things.
Okay.
And the reason for that is that the receptors for the CBD, they're finding them in all of our systems, in the nervous system, in the digestive system, in our skin. So that's why you
So a
see
receptor is something that will absorb
right.
that product and then
Or the CBD will block that receptor. So if it's a pain issue, it'll block that pain receptor and helps that way. Yeah.
So it's super mainstream now. So it's online, it's on the corner, it's, on the shelves. There's different forms. There's oil there. You brought some pills tonight.
Yeah.
There's, a cream you can put on. There's all sorts of things. What do you feel is with your patients, how does it contribute to help in their adjustments or their pain? Do you offer it? Do you suggest it? How does that work?
So we in our office we don't push any supplements or
Okay.
nutritional pills. If people ask us about it, this is what we offer.
Okay.
It really is effective, and we probably should offer it more because of how effective it is for people. And because the receptors are in so many different systems, it can help with lots of things. That's why you see it in creams and pills and all the different things, because there's so many uses.
I guess there's not a best way to take it, but why would you take it differently? An oil compared to a cream, compared to a pill?
So-
how do they differentiate?
The cream is going to go directly on your skin. So if you have a skin issue, then it's going to help right locally where that is. A pill is going to help better for a systemic problem, or if you have lots of pain all over, or an inflammatory condition, things like MS or high blood pressure, for example. The CBD really helps with those types of things. Anxiety and depression are also two of the big ones that CBD helps with as
I
well.
think the big alarming thing was epilepsy or seizures. I think those were the patients that were really trying to get it passed.
So the FDA did approve a CBD infused drug for two specific types of epilepsy. and it's super effective, hardly any side effects, and it's really, they're doing good research on it. But it is approved for those 2 regulated drugs.
So with seizures, is a CBD better or than a THC for fighting that?
The CBD and the THC kind of work hand in hand.
Okay.
And depending on the doses, CBD can inhibit the THC or the other way around.
Okay.
So the dosing needs to be
Exact
really good
kind of for the patient.
for what you want, yeah.
Gotcha. So I do have MS, and so I was wondering, how can that help me, the CBD? Like, what does it do for that disease? Because I've heard a lot of people tell me that I should look into it.
So one of the main benefits of using CBD is that it decreases inflammation. So if you take a pill, wherever you have inflammation in your body, it's going to go to those receptors and it's going to reduce that
Calm
inflammation.
it down.
So if it's MS, then that's one of the big things, is that MS is an inflammatory condition. So it helps to just calm it down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it react with other drugs? Like when, there's a lot of warnings, like do not take this drug if you're taking this drug. Do people need to be conscientious of if they're taking things already, will this?
Definitely.
Okay.
And if you find CBD in a bottle, it better have a warning on it that says talk to your healthcare professional before you use this if you're taking any kind of medication. Because it affects so many different things in your body, there's lots of different medications that it can affect, and it can either increase or decrease the effectiveness of those
And you would know
medications.
all of those drugs? Like if someone came in and said, I'm on these 3 medications, will it affect anything?
If
Or do you
not, I'll look it up.
Okay, so you can find those answers, or
Yeah.
can you talk to a pharmacist?
A pharmacist would know more offhand,
Okay.
at least I think they would know more than I
Okay.
would know, because a lot of those things I would just look it up and see.
So with all the places that we can go and find it, where is a safe place? How do we know what we're getting is something that's safe?
He's safe.
So
Going to
you can definitely come and get the pills from me. If most lotions are going to be safe, if you're going to take a pill, or if you're going to try and use it like vaping or something like that, then you want to go to a reputable source to get it. Yeah.
Interesting that you bring that up, though, because that would probably be the next step, I guess, if somebody really did have like a cannabis card, or they wanted to inhale, to actually ingest it into their body and not orally through a pill. You would have to be super concerned about how you're ingesting it, right?
Yeah. And if you're going to vape, I personally don't know of CBD oil that doesn't have THC for vaping, because typically if you're going to vape, then they're trying to get the high. And so that's one that I'd be really careful with. And one of the big differences between CBD and THC is that CBD is not regulated, right? You can buy and sell it anywhere in the United States.
And it's because of the low level of THC in it.
Right.
Is that correct?
There's little to none, so there's no psychoactive effect.
Okay.
So
And you just can't get high off it.
Okay.
you can't get high.
It's just helping us, not getting us high.
Yes.
Okay,
You could take 10 bottles of these pills and
And
you're
not
And
feel
at our
anything.
age,
Okay, that was what I was nervous about too.
Pain-free, right?
Yeah.
If you have a bad hip or something.
Yep.
Wow.
Awesome. Well, like I said, we want to be educated for a while. So thank you so much
You
for
bet.
So we don't need to be
briefing
afraid
us.
when we see CBD for sale. People don't need to worry that it's a bunch of
No,
don't
not
know.
at all.
Drug
Not at all.
addicts.
drug addicts, pot smokers,
It comes from
whatever
the hemp
it comes
plant,
from.
the same plant that they use to make paper and clothes and things like that, not the marijuana
And
plant.
it's probably a lot healthier than some of the pills and the drugs that are being produced.
Yeah,
for the body.
very little side effects. It's all natural, so yeah. And if people have questions, they're welcome to come to my office. They can ask me. I'll talk to them about it, whatever they want to know.
And if they need a great chiropractor.
And if
Yes.
they need a great adjustment, come on over.
One
How do we
quick
get a
thing,
hold of you then?
You don't take insurance, you told me. It's just a flat 35?
$35
Per
for an
visit.
adjustment. The only
Like,
insurance.
that's really great, just to come in and get adjusted.
Yeah, the only insurance we work with is auto insurance. When someone's been in an auto accident,
okay.
the auto insurance covers their treatment. But other than that,
Okay, thanks, Mike.
you bet. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much. There's more Studio Chatter coming up. Welcome back. We made it. What did we learn?
And I want to go float. I want to
Yes.
go to Deseret Book.
There
I
were
want
some
of those
awesome
cookies.
things tonight, right?
There was.
So we got educated finally. about
Yes, we could get CBD.
appropriately, so we can talk smart to our neighbors.
Very
when
helpful.
Yes.
What are you opening over there?
Milano mint chocolate cookies.
I love mint
I do
and
too.
chocolate.
But I'm sorry. Like,
You're
I'm struggling. So the
Oh, they
Pepperidge
come in
Farms, what do you call these packages? are usually just so easy to roll up and down. So I'm not used to
tonight.
the little.
Or there's mystery
Tray.
Oreo. Or I thought of you guys in Italy for this segment, and I brought you back because you know lemons. So there's in the middle. There's a little bit of fizz. So when you suck it, it oozes out, and then there's a hole on both sides, and you can blow it like a whistle.
You thank you,
That's so sweet.
Cute.
I may share it
Oh my
or may
gosh.
not.
I
This
love
could be my new
lemon.
purse treat.
Does it make you like
Pucker, like is it sour?
No.
So the fizz inside
It's a
not very sour.
Yeah, someone else ate it. And said, for me, it wasn't real bad.
Okay. Well, either way, thank
Yeah,
you.
my first time, I couldn't even tell anything was coming out till Chris started blowing his.
Ooh, how delightful.
Okay,
Thank
let's
you.
guess. Do we think that it's a color inside?
No.
Or just a flavor?
I think just flavor.
I'm going to say a
taste
color.
Are
Typic-
so bad, I won't even know what flavor I have. it at.
Typically, Oreo
Okay.
filling's just always white, right?
No, like the black Oreos.
And I just bought Halloween ones last week.
Could I orange?
Yeah.
Did you have the
It looks
marshmallow
a
ones that
little
glow in the dark?
colored.
Those are kind of weird. Oh, why did I just open this? I didn't need to open this.
Ew.
I think it's fallish. You guys don't like
Is
it
it
because you
licorice?
didn't like the maple
Is it
one.
licorice?
No, it's like a fall.
Oh wow! I just got
Okay,
super
okay,
a
but
little
wait.
overexcited about licorice. Which, by the way,
Ready?
the farmers market goes on for how much longer?
Till the end of October.
Okay, so there is one of the vendors there that has licorice
Really?
caramels. Like it's a
That
problem.
must be new.
Is it like
It's
the ones that
so
are at
good.
Stone Drug?
The
Wrapped
soft
in
ones.
ce-
They're
yes.
not wrapped in wax paper, but they're
No,
wrapped in
like
cellophane.
cellophane. It could be the same ones
it
at
could
Stone
be.
Drug.
They're
They're super good.
Super
I don't know
good.
if I like this.
I'm afraid now.
And I like cookies, but it's got
It smells like
it's like a funny aftertaste.
it smells like little kids in church.
They smell like
Well, when they're eating their little animal cookies.
Yeah, it smells bad, but I don't think it really tastes.
I don't like the aftertaste.
Or do you like a scratch and see what the what the
It almost tastes like a little fallish, right?
It is, yeah. It's like
I'm
Like
moving
not
on to
pumpkin-y.
my.
kind of though,
But
a little bit.
caramely.
Oh, that's what I need to show you pictures of that too. I made a pumpkin spice bundt cake with cinnamon glaze. That was
Oh my goodness.
Cinnamon glaze.
I did
Okay,
it
we
all
want
by
some of that.
myself.
I'm gonna enjoy this. I do like that.
Well,
I'm
ladies,
gonna delight in figuring what this is.
next month, why don't we have a birthday? Let's celebrate
Let's do
our
it.
third year together. Well, almost together.
Third month.
Third month. Oh, that'll go to.
It will be
well.
a birthday and a celebration.
And a welcoming.
And a welcoming. There you
Okay.
go.
I like it.
Happy fall.
Yeah.
Y'all.
We think
Yeah.
we're funny.
We are funny.
Oh.
Thanks for being here with us. We hope you enjoyed the chatter. Tell a friend.